Where's the point of Senator Kajwang? What's the point of order?
Mr. Clerk, sitting today as the Speaker of the House, pending the election of the Speaker, I want to rise on a point of order just before we get into details of the order that you've called out on election of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Senate. Mr. Clerk, the point of order that I rise on is order number 4 that deals with the election of Speaker. I want to also deal with it alongside Article 98 of the Constitution that defines the constitution of this Senate. And this Senate comprises of 47 elected senators plus another number that shall be nominated to this House. Mr. Speaker, all senators are equal. Yes, the clerk is sitting as a speaker, so I'll use that reference interchangeably. All the 67 senators here are equal. Once they've taken the oath, all the 67 senators here have got an equal right to vie for the position of Deputy Speaker of the Senate. Mr. Clerk, you will note that the gazettement of the 20 nominated senators was done just yesterday, and that was less than 48 hours to the election of the Speaker, which we are about to conduct. Furthermore, you will notice that by the time the nominated senators were gazetted and even brought to this House for induction, the period for application for the position of Deputy Speaker had already been closed. Mr. Clerk, this is extremely important because the 20 nominated senators represent the marginalized sections of this country. They represent women, they represent youth, they represent persons with disability. And not only on this side, Mr. Clerk, it is across the aisle. What I'm raising is not a partisan objection. The nominated senators that are sitting in front of me had a right to apply for the position of Deputy Speaker of the Senate. Mr. Speaker, the foundation upon which we start this Senate shall determine and shall dictate whether this Senate shall always look out for the rights of the marginalized and shall always stand for the rule of law. Therefore, Mr. Clerk, my point of order is that we cannot disenfranchise 1/3 of this Senate. We cannot disenfranchise 50% of the population that is represented by the women senators who have been nominated to represent gender interests. We cannot disenfranchise 60% of the population of this country that is youth, as represented by the senators who represent the youth. Therefore, Mr. Clerk, my objection, and where I want you to clarify, is that we cannot proceed with election for Speaker and Deputy Speaker until the rights of nominated members of the Senate have been respected and until they've been accorded an opportunity to put in their application. Mr. Clerk, we've got very capable nominated senators here. Senator Kamar was our Deputy Speaker. I look across the aisle, I see the senator who's sitting on that chair, written Deputy Majority Leader. Her composure and her outlook shows me that she can be a very good Deputy Speaker. Let us create an opportunity, a window for people to apply, and then let us do the right things. Finally, Mr. Clerk, and I know someone will argue that it was the work of IBC to gazette the nominated senators. We, as a Senate, cannot take the wrong decisions because IBC took the wrong decisions. We know, and these standing orders, Mr. Clerk, another objection is that applications are to be done 48 hours to this election. In your notice, you amended it unilaterally and put the deadline to 2:30 of yesterday. I'm not complaining about that. Whether it was 2:30, the nominated senators still did not have an opportunity to apply. We cannot, as a House, do things and procedurally trample on the rights of our women and youth simply because the IBC decided to be lazy. simply because the IBC decided to run away from their duty. And you have seen the kind of mess the IBC has brought into this country. So let the foundation of this Senate, which some of us have sat in for quite some time, not be a foundation of impunity, not be a foundation of denying the rights of our women and youth. And Mr. Clerk, it would be important that you rule on that. And my prayer would be that this exercise and this order be suspended until everyone has been given an opportunity to participate in the rightful manner.
Clerk, point of order. Point of order, clerk.
You will need to, only so many mics can be on at the same time. You need to put them off. There will be opportunity to speak. I will want to go either way, so there will be opportunity to speak. Senator Murkomen.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. First of all, I want to congratulate everybody here who has been sworn in, and look forward to us working together, and I think we'll have an opportunity to say that later. Mr. Clerk, the objection raised by Senator Kajwang, being a ranking member in this House, Mr. Clerk, and serving now in his third term, he should be leading by example, by being the honorable senator who should show the way to the new senators. Mr. Speaker, the objection he's raising is premature. It's a premature.
Senators, I will hear Senator Murkomen.
Thank you. It's premature to the extent that this House is now discussing the election of the Speaker. The issues raised by Senator Kajwang have nothing to do with the position of the Speaker. And Senator Kajwang should be setting example for the other senators to know that you do not anticipate debate, especially on a motion that is not on the floor of the House. Mr. Speaker, we need to focus first on the order that is called in the order paper, which is the election of the Speaker. The entire Mr. Speaker, speech of Senator Kajwang is premised on an order that has not been called. He should hold his horses and wait until we reach that order. Then, Mr. Speaker, he can be able to raise those objections. And those of us who also have issues to do with what he has raised, Mr. Speaker, will then come back when that matter is alive for purpose of discussion. But be it as it may, Mr. Speaker, Senator Kajwang should acquaint himself with Standing Order number 3, which, Mr. Speaker, talks about the role of the clerk insofar as this sitting is concerned. When we reach that order, Mr. Speaker, I will be inviting you to strictly focus on the role of the clerk until we have a Speaker who can have the freedom, the Speaker, to use order number 1 and other order, standing orders, to make a ruling on wider issues being canvassed by Senator Kajwang. I think when the Speaker now will be sitting here, after we are done with our first order of this House, then Senator Kajwang will be very free to raise those issues that he has raised. And I think, Mr. Clerk, let us stick fast to the order as called. Otherwise, we will go into a frolic of our own, and members here will be delayed for no reason. The new members, Mr. Speaker, as you have seen, are quietly watching and waiting and anxiously preparing themselves to debate in this House. They need a Speaker to sit there so that they can make their contribution. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order. Mr. Clerk, point of order. Point of order here.
Please turn off your microphones. I will shortly need to rule, but before I do that, of course, I will hear two more representations on either side. Unfortunately, we can't take more. The business for today is defined in the Constitution and in the standing orders. So unfortunately, I will only be able to hear two representations from either side, and thereafter we will be ready to rule. So, Senator Dulo.
Thank you, Clerk. I think the matters raised by Senator Kajwang, they are weighty matters, and it should not be taken for granted. Number two, we cannot wait for the Speaker to be sworn in, and then we raise this matter. The standing orders are very clear. And again, there is a lacuna in the standing orders where the Senate or the Parliament did not actually expect this kind of a situation to arise. And it is really important, before we move on, Clerk, you should make a decision on this before we proceed. I thank you.
Please turn off either mics, all the mics. As I had undertaken, I would hear one on either side. So we've heard Senator Dulo. If there's any representation on this side, I will hear it. I'm trying to make out who the member is. Senator Khalwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sorry, I beg your pardon. Mr. Clerk, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, I can see the attempt by the Honorable Senator Moses Kajwang. Senator, through this point of order, he's attempting to suspend the sitting of this House. And if indeed, Senator Kajwang, you want to suspend the sitting of the Senate, you know what to do. Go and do it. Don't hide in a standing order. Those are not our standing orders. Probably those are standing orders of doing trade in fish and so on and so forth. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Clerk.
Sit down. Listen, honorable senators, honorable senators, honorable senators.
A point of order, Mr. Clerk.
Honorable senators, Senator Khalwale, you are out of order. Please withdraw the objectionable remarks and proceed with your speech. You are out of order.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Clerk, I profusely withdraw and wish to advance my point of order.
Honorable senators, I have directed Senator Khalwale to withdraw. He has done so. He proceeds with his speech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mrs. Clerk, it would be wrong for us to attempt to suspend the Senate when this sitting is actually a special sitting. A special sitting to the extent that, Mr. Clerk, we have been invited here for a specific agenda. We have to discharge that agenda, and much as I am willing, and many of us are willing to listen to your persuasion, you have to do it at the right time. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Clerk, let us proceed and elect the Speaker. And then when the Speaker is in the chair of the Speaker, he will preside over the House, and you are free. When the motion is moved to elect a Deputy Speaker, you are free then to stand in your place and try and advance that which you are trying to do. Your attempt to bring in IEBC, Mr. Clerk, the country must know that this culture of us refusing to respect constitutional institutions must come to an end if we want to uphold a republic that we call Kenya. Mr. Speaker, you must deny him that opportunity to attempt to suspend the House.
Honorable senators, I said two opportunities. That was prospective. So there was one on this side and there's one on this side. There's one more here and one more here. And then I will make a determination. So, Senator Ledama.
Don't worry. Mr. Clark, thank you. I appreciate you recognizing this matter that is quite weighty. And also, Standing Order number 22 talks about the issue of the majority party. And I know you're going to be talking about...
Senator Ledama, please resume your seat. Please resume your seat. Please resume your seat. Senator Ledama, please resume your seat. Honorable Senators, the matter that is before us is a point of order that was raised by Senator Kajwang. We have given opportunity, and I undertook to give opportunity to either side to canvass that point of order and speak to it. No other matter can be introduced until a determination has been made to that. So I will allow you. Senator Ledama had given you the opportunity to speak to that point of order. Ordinarily, I should not let you come back because you have spent that or misspent it. But I will let you. I will give you a special dispensation. Please canvass, stay to the point of order by Senator Kajwang. Thereafter, there will be one opportunity on this side, and unfortunately, I must make a determination immediately thereafter.
Mr. Clark, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll take 1 minute and then donate another minute. Is that okay? It's not okay?
Fortunately not.
Then the 2 minutes are very clear. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by Senator Kajwang is very important. We talk about inclusivity in this country. We talk about diversity in this country. And I think this House, as a House of Union, we must lead by example. Senator Kajwang raised a very, very pertinent issue on a matter of women, our women. We know very well that the Wiper Party has not presented the nominated senator. We know as we speak right now. And that is an issue which is holding us back. And Mr. Clark, yesterday, this issue of the 48 hours before the list of nominated senators was presented, those senators are being denied an opportunity to be able to serve as a deputy speaker. So why don't we suspend this sitting? You brief those senators. You had actually said you're going to brief them at 5 p.m. In your communication to us, why don't we suspend it, brief them, give them an opportunity? You cannot deny them an opportunity, Mr. Clark. It is like you wanting to vote for whoever you want to vote, and you are denied that opportunity. The Constitution is quite clear on that matter. So Mr. Clark, for me to finalize on my submissions, I would like to beseech you to suspend this matter for now until the time that everyone who has been elected, who has been given an opportunity, who has been sworn in, can be given an opportunity to present their papers. There's no way you can disfranchise those elected senators.
No, you have finished.
I'm very happy to be informed.
You have finished your speech. I'm sorry. Honorable Senators, you cannot be informed after you have finished your speech. And so, unfortunately, we have one more only on this side, and then we will make a determination. So, for purposes of... Can I see a show of mics who wants to speak on this side? Senator Cheriot.
have the mic, please. Thank you, Clerk. Mr. Clerk, I want to react to the point of order by my good friend, Senator Moses Kajwang. This is a classic filibuster. There is nothing that the minority side is looking for other than an opportunity to stage a walkout because they can see the chances of another imminent defeat in quick succession after they've suffered a quick one in the previous election, Mr. Clerk. That is why,
Senator Cheriot.
But, Mr. Speaker,
Senator Cheriot, please stay relevant. You know the rules of the House. Stay to the matter.
Mr. Clerk, understanding order number 3, your powers and duties as a clerk of this House are limited. You exercise limited jurisdiction over presiding of this House today and the activities that have been gazetted. I want to give my sure warning, Mr. Clerk, that the decision and the determination that Senator Moses Kajwang is inviting you to make, I'm sorry, is not within your jurisdiction. You have conducted the first duty, which is to carry out the oath of office for members of clerk. Mr. Clerk, please, I seek your protection. I seek your protection because I seek your protection.
Point of information.
Honorable Senators, I think it will be appropriate that we hear Senator Cheriot. If you don't agree with what he is saying, that is okay. I will make a determination. But please, if we could just hear, because we have important business and an important determination to make one way or the other. So please conclude your speech.
I will conclude, Mr. Speaker, by saying, if you grant the minority side an opportunity, protect me from Senator Wambua. Mr. Clerk, I understand that he's anxious.
Please.
Because his party leader is one of the candidates. Probably that's why.
Senator Cheriot, please conclude your speech.
If I am protected, I will conclude, Mr. Speaker. If I'm protected, I will.
Senator Wambua, please resume your seat. Please resume your seat, Senator Wambua.
Mr. Clerk.
No. Just
okay,
a minute,
sorry.
Please. Please, honorable senators, this is the first sitting. We are on full display of the public. We want to show that we deal with our affairs in a dignified manner. Senator Cheriot is about to conclude his speech. I will make a determination of how we shall proceed. Kindly allow that Senator Cheriot concludes his speech. Senator Cheriot, please do so in no more than 1 minute.
Thank you, Clerk. I was pleading for your protection because, in all fairness and dignity, we listened to our colleagues, much as we didn't like what they were saying. So I think it's upon them to also listen to us as we make our remarks. I plead with you that you have granted us the opportunity to please make the right decision, which is to allow us to elect the new Speaker of this House. Immediately after that, members of the minority side can complain about everything, including even the weather today, if that is the reason why they don't want to vote. Finally,
Mr. Clerk.
Finally, as is the tradition of this House, Mr. Clerk,
He must withdraw. The determination has not been made.
if any of our nominated colleagues had the intention to run for the office of the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Clerk, I am sure they will have put it before you in writing, and as the umpire in this exercise, you would have either way waived the time barrier that was looking out. Do we have any evidence, or Senator Kajwang is simply wasting the time of this House? Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Kajwang, that's not the order. That's not the order.
Honorable senators, I made a determination. No, I absolutely am not allowing any additional points of orders, unfortunately, because we made a clear determination that we will hear two on either side. They are spent. The matter which Senator Kajwang canvassed, I think, is quite clear. All the parties have spoken to this matter, so I will make a determination at this point. Senator Kajwang has raised the issue about the application of Standing Order number 4 and Article 98 of the Constitution, basically that all senators are equal, that they have an equal right and opportunity to vie for the position of Deputy Speaker. that their late gazettement therefore disenfranchised them and did not avail to them the opportunity to put forth their interest. And his prayer was that this order, the order number 4, which is election of the Speaker, be suspended. Senator Murkomen has responded to this point of order to say that in his view it is premature on account of the order we are at, which is order number 4, but also to say that the clerk's role is limited and that he is not able, by dint of standing order number 3, to make a determination on this matter. The Senator Dulo has said that it's a substantive matter. We cannot wait for the substantive speaker. Senator Khalwale basically said that this was a roundabout way to try to suspend the sitting, and also that the right time to canvass this point of order is at order number 5. Senator Ledama, speaking to inclusivity, diversity, House of Union, the need for suspension so that the senators who are belatedly gazetted are briefed and allowed the opportunity to participate. And Senator Cheriot calls it a classic filibuster and says that the jurisdiction of the clerk at standing order number 3 is limited and that this is not within my jurisdiction. There are only 2 points over which I will make a determination, and if, depending on the first, may not be necessary to go to the second. The first of this is whether, by the application of standing order number 3 and standing order number 4, whether the clerk has jurisdiction at this time, or to make a determination on the matters which are in issue. Actually, that is standing order number 3, 4. When the clerk is administering the oath or affirmation of office to senators, and before the clerk has administered the oath or affirmation of office to the Speaker, any question arising in the Senate, shall be determined by the clerk, who shall during that period exercise the powers of the Speaker. So I make a determination that the clerk has jurisdiction, full and entire jurisdiction for all purposes, up to and until the place at which there is a substantive speaker elected and sworn. To rule otherwise would mean that the House could degenerate into disarray and that there would be nobody to make a determination. I think that our Constitution cannot have contemplated a situation like that. If it did not provide, so it didn't. So let us, honorable senators, let us agree. My determination is that there is jurisdiction for the clerk to rule on the matter that has been raised. Now, coming to the matter raised by Senator Kajwang, I have to say that the objection raised by Senator Murkomen is correct and is appropriate. Namely, and as is well known, the business of this House is canvassed by orders as they are read. At this time, the order that has been read is the order of election of the Speaker. Who is to tell that we shall come to the order of election of the Deputy Speaker at all? It is not known at this time. I therefore rule that we proceed with the business of order number 5, and if we should come to order number 4, and if we should come to order number 5, and if there should be objection to order number 5, that objection will then be canvassed and will be entertained, and a determination will be made. So the order number 5 having been read, number 4, sorry, which is election of the Speaker, and the determination having been made, unfortunately, I cannot entertain a point of order again on this matter. Proceed. Honorable senators, I will hear Senator Okongo Mogeni, but please, this cannot be the matter over which a determination by the Speaker has been made. It cannot be a matter over which the Speaker has made a determination.
Thank you, Bwana Clerk. I'm rising on a procedural issue on the issue of election of the Speaker. I want to draw the attention of you, Mr. Clerk, to Standing Order number 5, Standing Order 5, subsection 5, which says that immediately upon close of nomination provided for under paragraph 2, the clerk shall publicize and make available to all senators a list showing of all candidates, qualified candidates for the Speaker, and then B, make available to all senators copies of CVs of the qualified candidates. Mr. Clerk and other senators will confirm that we have not been supplied.
The senator will be heard. Please conclude your.
Yes.
Please conclude.
You have not. The obligation, Mr. Clerk, is on you to circulate to all of us the CVs of all the qualified candidates. A number of us, including myself, Mr. Clerk, have not received these CVs. So I'm moving, Mr. Clerk, that before you proceed with the business of electing the Speaker, so that you give us time to go through the CVs, the business of electing the Speaker be suspended, Clerk, to enable us get copies of all these CVs, go through them before the House can reconvene to undertake this very important task, Bwana Clerk.
Don't appear to see any concern on this side. Let me say that Senator Okongo Mogeni, you are absolutely correct in the observation that you make, and we are very conscious of this obligation and this duty. And we made every effort, the Office of the Clerk made every effort to make available to all senators, to publicize and make available a list showing all qualified candidates. Indeed, we went public in the press and made this available. But additionally, we made this available in this chamber yesterday to senators. We had asked that all senators assemble here. Part of the business of attendance at please, if the Speaker can be heard. The opportunity was availed here, and we had made public and called upon all senators to be present so that we make available in terms of the obligation we have under the Standing Order number 5. That notwithstanding, I am directing that copies be made available at this time to those who do not have. I will not be suspending the sitting, unfortunately. But, honorable senators, the sitting will not be suspended. The copies will nevertheless be made available at this time. They were made available yesterday. I am also asking that, because we have soft copies of this, be sent to the WhatsApp group of the WhatsApp group. Honorable senators, I want to draw your attention. I want to draw your attention to Standing Order number 2. Standing Order number 2, paragraph 2. In these standing orders, whenever a document is required to be made available to senators, the document shall be considered to have been so provided or made available if placed in the senators' pigeonholes or in such other place or availed in such other manner as the Speaker may direct. Indeed, honorable senators, the curriculum vitae have been provided in your gadgets.
Order. Point of order.
So, honorable senators, let's have some order.